Welcome to Fiddlehead. Climbing is a great fitness activity that works your entire body, and it's fun as well. We hope that you have a good time, but there are a few safety measures that you've got to learn before you can start climbing on our wall. First, a few words of caution. Climbing is dangerous, and the risks involved in a fall from any height can be significant. The risks include falling off or from the climbing wall and hitting the floor, impacting the face of the wall, impacting another person or the equipment, rope abrasion or entanglement, injuries from falling climbers, dropped items, and even broken holds. Now, a quick orientation to our facility. After completing the necessary items at the front desk, you will pass through the retail area and see the Fern Cafe. Behind the cafe and on either side of the water fountain are the bathrooms. Enter the gym and you can store your belongings in the cubbies. Okay, now it's time to learn how to put on the harness. The front and the top of the harness are easy to find. Hold the harness by the waist belt, step through it, and put each leg into one of the two leg loops. Pull the waist belt up around your waist and tighten so the waist loop is snug. Take the excess slack out of the leg loops, like this. Note that the waist belt needs to be above your hip bones and on your waist, not your hips. This is to prevent you from coming out of the harness should you fall upside down. This is an auto belay system. It will take in the rope as you climb, eliminating the need for a belay partner and ensuring a controlled descent when you let go of the holds. To clip into the system, pull down the belay gate and clip the locking carabiner to the belay loop of your harness. Then unclip the non-locking carabiner and drop the gate. Before beginning the climb, check to ensure that your harness is on correctly. Check that the carabiner is attached to your belay loop and the gate is fully closed and locked. Pull down on the rope and quickly release it to test whether it retracts smoothly. If the rope does not retract correctly, do not climb. Contact a staff member immediately. As you climb, it's important to remain aware of your surroundings, including other climbers, to avoid potential collisions. Upon reaching the top or deciding to come down, let go of the holds quickly and sit back in your harness. The descent is fast, so keep your legs bent and face the wall with your feet. Do not grab onto the wall while descending. When you're back on the ground, simply reverse the steps that you used to clip in. Pick up the belay gate from the floor and clip the non-locking carabiner into the retention loop in the locking carabiner. Unclip the locking carabiner from your harness. Note that if you let go of the carabiner before you clip it into the gate, the auto belay will retract all the way up to the ceiling, requiring the staff to retrieve it. When using the auto belay, you are responsible for your own safety. Inspecting the equipment before each use is required. Seek assistance from the gym staff if you're ever in doubt. Even experienced climbers make mistakes, so it's important to recognize and avoid common errors. Skipping the equipment inspections or an improperly fitting harness can compromise safety. Similarly, failing to secure the carabiner correctly can result in disconnection from the system. The most common auto belay accident is forgetting to clip into the rope. Be sure to always double check your connections to the rope before you leave the ground. Now we're in the bouldering area. Notice that there are no ropes, so the idea is to climb up and climb back down. It might seem obvious, but if you fall off, you will definitely hit the ground. Bouldering may appear to be a safer climbing activity than roped climbing on the taller walls, but this is not the case. In fact, you are many times more likely to be injured bouldering than you are while engaged in top rope climbing. That's because every time you fall or drop off the bouldering wall, you will hit the ground. Even with adequate padding, you can land on the side of your foot and twist an ankle, or extend an arm behind you and hyperextend an elbow, or hurt yourself, including strains, sprains, or fractures. Worst of all, you can land on your head or neck or back and cause injury. If you have a body weakness that you know of, such as an ankle or a knee that's been previously injured, you might want to reconsider bouldering. since the forces involved in falling from even a few feet off the padding can be quite large and cause a weak ankle, knee, or other body part to fail. If you choose to engage in bouldering, there are several steps that you can take to minimize the chances of your being injured. First, learn to fall correctly. Allow your legs to crumple, cross your arms on your chest, and roll onto your back. Do not extend your arms behind you, or you might severely injure your wrist, elbow, or shoulder. Second, use your judgment. If you feel that you've climbed too high, or that a fall might be awkward, or you are just plain uncomfortable, then stop and climb down. You're in control of your climbing, so please exercise judgment about where and how you choose to climb. It's always preferable to down climb the wall. Use the gray holds with the arrows on them or other large holds to descend. Don't jump from higher on the wall, as doing so subjects you to the same forces as an actual fall. These 50-foot walls are for roped climbing. In order to climb here on your own, you must pass our competency test for top rope belaying. At Fiddlehead, you must be 14 to tie yourself in and belay, assuming you are climbing with someone else 14 or older who has passed our top rope competency test. Let's take a look at how our safety system for roped climbing works. The climber is in a harness that is fastened to a rope by way of a figure-8 follow-through knot. The rope then goes over a bar at the top of the wall and returns to the belayer on the ground. The rope passes through an assisted braking device attached to the belayer's harness. As the climber moves up the wall, the belayer, with specific hand motions, pulls the excess rope through the belay device to remove any slack. The belayer will arrest any fall that might occur, holding the climber in place on the wall. When the climber is finished, the belayer will lower the climber back to the ground. The goal in climbing is not to see how fast you can get to the top, but rather to complete ever more difficult climbs and to have fun with the challenge. This is the reason for the multicolored grade signs and colored holds in the bouldering area and roped climbing area. The color on the card tells you what color holds to use on the route. The number represents the difficulty of the climb. Roped climbs at Fiddlehead range from 5.6 to 5.13. The higher the number to the right of the decimal point, the harder the climb. 5.7 is the difficulty of following the pink holds starting at the card. For boulders, we use the V system, and grades may range from V0 to V12, with the higher number representing a harder climb. Watch the climber here. They start with their hands on the holds marked with the start sign. They get their entire body off of the ground and then advance following the same colored holds. Once at the top, we recommend down climbing. As I mentioned earlier, climbing has risks. Those risks can be reduced with proper checks before the climber leaves the ground. You'll want to check the entire safety system like this. Is the belayer's harness on the waist and snug? Is the carabiner attached to the belay device and belay loop? Confirm it is locked by squeezing on the gate. Grab the rope above the device and pull up sharply. If the device locks up, it's working. Is the climber's harness on the waist and snug? Is the figure-8 through both hard points on the harness and followed through correctly with enough tail? Make it a habit to check these items before every climb. So that's it for this video. Meet your instructor for the practical part of this instruction. Once you've been through the class, you can come back anytime and climb on your own without needing any further instruction. And thanks for visiting Fiddlehead. We hope you'll have a great time.